Hello fellow Onmyojis. JustRei here back with another video. Today I'm gonna show you a jungle tier list. And stay tuned for another reveal at the end of the video. Before we start, 5 Shikigamis have already been talked about in the last video, so make sure to click the link in the description and watch it as we're gonna focus on other Shikigamis for this video. The tier list will consist of 4 different tiers. I'm gonna show you S tier, A tier, B tier, and C tier. S tier consists of Shikigamis that provide the highest level of impact that will always be felt in the games that they're in. A tier consists of Shikigamis that are great picks and can even be S tier picks depending on the team comp, game state, and item spikes. B tier consists of Shikigamis that are good picks and can be really strong and have S tier impact. But there are better Shikigamis that also do what they can do. C tier consists of Shikigamis that are decent picks, but other Shikigamis are just better. Yet these Shikigamis can be tricky to play against, so don't count them out. I'm also gonna give 2 Shikigamis that can dominate lower elos and help you climb faster. And a must-ban jungle Shikigami. This tier list is determined based on their overall kit, and factors in that the player will have relatively above average skill on the Shikigami, and that determines their impact at the game on the higher levels of play. Meaning Grand Onmyoji and up. The first tier is going to be C tier, with 11 Shikigamis. And we are gonna start with Kama Itachi. Burst ninja with unique ganking patterns and strong basic attacks. Next up is Kyumei Neko. Fun ninja with good burst damage and revive ability. Next up is Kyonchi Imoto. Bouncing utility mage that can abuse bad positioning. Next up is Sasori. Good DPS bruiser ninja against high HP enemies. Next up is Shuten Doji. Strong early game with a fast jungle clear speed. Next up is Inugami. Good doggo samurai with true damage. Next up is Jorogumo. Good bruiser with annoying wide AoE slow that deters enemies. Next up is Furry. Bruiser with decent mobility, AoE damage, and slows. Next up is Ibaraki Doji. Simple bruiser with strong single target crowd control and burst damage. Next up is Rukia. Utility mage with good crowd control and 2 viable builds. And at last, Shishio. Utility tank with good mobility and peel for teammates. Now we have B tier, with 10 Shikigamis. And we're gonna start with Ubume. Mobile mage with easy backline access. Next up is Yamakaze. Hard to master Shikigami with the highest level of mobility. Next up is Yamawaro. Utility tank with great peel for carries. Next up is Kuro Mujo. Anti-tank bruiser with ultimate that has AoE execute with resets. Next up is Karasa Tengu. Easy to play bruiser with great base stats. Next up is Nunai Suzume. Reset mage ninja with unique soul-taking ability that can solo win a teamfight. Next up is Moba. DP's bruiser mage with the most fun ability in the game. Next up is Yato no Kami. Drain tank that abuses ravening zither. Next up is Monondaka. Great Cytolane with insane mobility and ability to kill enemies in low health. And at last, Hoshiguma Doji. Slippery mobile burst mage ninja that can go in and out of a fight. After that we have A tier, with 12 Shikigamis. And we're gonna start with Aobozu. Underrated damage and fast rotations. Next up is Kosodanote. Strong 1v1 and ganking ability. Next up is Puppeteer. 2 viable builds in full damage with poke and bruiser. Next up is Kai Nin. Burst mobile ninja with insane one-shot burst damage. Next up is Sesshomaru. Gain backline access easily with ultimate and good burst damage. Next up is Yuki Doji. 2 equally annoying build with damage and tank but will always have great crowd control. Next up is Yasha. Good mobility with decent burst damage and strong invade potential. Next up is Kidomaru. True scaling crit marksman in the jungle. Next up is Tanuki. Great crowd control and strong utility tank. Next up is Otakamaru. Bruiser that can shut down enemies in a teamfight. Next up is Itan Momon. Good ganker mobile mage with 2 viable builds in utility burst and bruiser mage. And at last, Takayasha Hime. Bruiser skirmisher that can adapt to any situation. For now we will have the 4 S-tier Shikigamis from last video. Yoto Hime, Oni Kiri, Susanoo, and Hone Ona. We will have 4 additional S-tier Shikigamis added, and the first one will be Kamimai. Strong mobile ranged ninja with insane single target DPS that utilizes basic attack resets with her passive. Next up is Hakozosu. Strongest mage ninja in the jungle with strong early game, great mobility and invincibility with nice level 3 kill potential. Next up is Itsumade. Burst ninja with great mobility that just got buffed this patch and strong ultimate AoE execute burst damage that can reset. And at last, Yume Kui. Insane ganker utility tank with the strongest crowd control ability in the jungle that your enemies will hate to play against. And the strongest jungle in the game. The Soul God Tier Shikigami. Wukong. The Shikigami you must ban in your games is Itsumade. Her damage got buffed when she was already strong, so expect her play rate to go up. The 2 Shikigamis you can play to climb out of low elo are Itsumade and Yuki Doji. As mentioned before, Itsumade just got buffed. And Yuki Doji can easily carry games with full add burst damage build. And that is it, everyone. Thank you for watching the video, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And for those who waited for the reveal, an in-depth guide featuring Susanoo next week. Thanks for your support and goodbye.